Hey everyone, I would like to introduce a new asset that I just created that's meant to deal with a particular pain point. One of the best things that Unity added in recent while is the package manager. And really we should be creating all of our assets in packages. Unfortunately, and let me flip over here, Unity didn't make packages easy to work with. In fact, there's a lot of steps you have to follow to set up a package. You need to follow these instructions explicitly, and there's lots of little hidden subtleties in this that if you make a mistake, your package won't work. So, with that in mind, I have created a new asset called Package Tools Pro. What it does is it takes care of all of the automation needed to easily create packages. Now, all you do is go to Tools, Package Tools Pro, Create Package. You got the little pop-up. And in here you can specify the name of your package. So com.myexample library. This will be my example. I'll do dash library because this is the display name, so you have a lot of freedom in what you put in that one. You have to have a version number, so version 1, it's the first time we're creating it. You can put a description in here. This is just an example. What's the minimum Unity version for your package to run? And you can even get down to the release, though that part is optional. Now, when you create a package, there are two different ways you can create a package. You can create it in development mode, which means it's going to live in a folder inside your packages folder, but it is part of this project. So let's do that for this one, and then I'll show you the other way. So if I want to create this package, all I do now is hit create. And what you're seeing here is the automation going behind the scenes, creating all the required folders, all the required assembly definitions, and setting up your brand new package. And there we go. So here is my example library that's just been created. I can expand it. We see the minimum folders that are required. I can go into the tests, and we see the editor and runtime test folders have been created, and the assembly definitions for editor, runtime, test, editor, runtime have all been created. And just to prove that they work, let's go in here and we'll say create testing. We'll make this, we'll say editor tests. And since it's an edit mode test, there's where it is. And then if I go to the runtime one and go create testing tests, runtime tests, and then I go over to play mode, there's the runtime tests. So we have a fully working package ready to go in nothing more than a few seconds, and both testing folders work. Now, I mentioned that there is another way that you can create packages. Packages created this way are actually part of your Unity project itself. So if I go in here, you see my assets folders right here, and these packages live inside the packages folder that's adjacent to your assets. The downfall of this is they're not as friendly to work with, particularly if I want to treat this as a shareable library and actually store it in Git or any other form of source control. So another way that you can create libraries is by creating a local package. When you create a local package, you need to tell the tool where you want that package created on your hard drive. So in my case, I tend to do my D drive, game dev, packages, and now let's do com.sample demo 2. We'll call this one demo 2. We'll call it demo2 local package. And we'll hit create on this. And this, again, is going to go and create a fully well-formed package, but it's going to create it where I've told it to be made, and then it's going to link it to the workspace that I'm currently in. All right, it just finished. And we called it demo2, so here it is. And if I open back up, well, actually here, if I open up my packages folder, you can actually see that COM sample2 was created. And if I open up my packages folder here, we'll see that there is no package here. It lives out on my hard drive, which means I'm now free to go there with my favorite source control repository tool and actually check it into source control. Now, one of the challenges, though, when you use local packages is that, and this is one of the nuances with packages right now, is that if I go and I create tests, so let's create some test scripts, same as we did before. We'll go editor tests. And I go here to edit mode, and we still see the original tests we created for the local one, but we don't see the new tests I just created. And if I go runtime, same thing. Tests, test script, runtime, tests. And again, we're not going to see any new play mode tests show up here. Just the original one for the local package. This is because when you distribute your local package, it's likely that you don't want all the people who are using your library to immediately inherit your tests. So Unity has just chosen to disable tests in anything other than a development style package. But that doesn't mean that you can't re-enable them. But again, the steps for doing that in Unity right now involve manually opening up some of the Unity JSON files and manually editing them, which is really not an intuitive or friendly way to do it. So we go down here back to our Package Tools Pro. We go to Package Testables. And what we get here is a list of all of the packages that are currently in my workspace. And the checkbox indicates whether or not they're enabled for testing. So if I want demo2 to be available for testing, I can check it off and hit save. And there we go. And now notice that I have my demo2 tests showing under play mode and under edit mode. They are now working. And if at any point I decide that I no longer want them to be part of my testing suite, I can again go to the Package Testables, uncheck it, hit save, and it will remove it from the configuration of Unity, thus making them hidden. So this is the first version of this tool. I'm making this video, and I know it's a rough one, just to gauge feedback of whether or not there's interest in a tool like this. Please let me know what you think. Thanks.